Long ago, we began a countdown to 2018. And in that countdown since 1999, it has been stated clearly that a new journey within a magnificent, earth-shifting cycle of time has commenced in full swing. Taken from page 19 of the Asarian Sacred Ancestral Temple of Christ, Whole Life Healing Through Plant-Based Consumption, copyright 2015 by High Priest Kwatamani.
We're living in prophetic times where 17 down and 1 to go signal major earth-shifting changes that are happening as we speak. As the I enter 72 years of Earth solar presence, the visible offspring and vibrations of the I, as High Priest Kwatamani, are indeed in place as a living example of divine socio-economic family community order, a living example that has worked, is working, and will continue to work within the principles, morals, and values of the sacred order of the Ankh, the pathway to a higher spirit conscious reality that awaits a sacred few. We note that the sacred ancestral temple of Kwatamani is in place to serve as a pathway of communication with those who are interested in the pursuit of a holistic living way of life during these sacred times of divine spirit conscious resurrection.
Several days ago, the High Priest Kwatamani received a request. In fact, we received 2 different messages which stood out among the many that we have been receiving from individuals who are sensing the earth-shifting changes of these times and seeking an exit from those states and conditions that continue to produce toxic disorder in one's mental, physical, and spiritual experiences. The message read as follows. I was contacting you because it's amazing I have found you, as me and my tribe Carbonation are headed to Belize as we speak, to live the same life you are living. I am a teacher of life. I have been attempting to do what you are doing for some time now, and things have been very rocky for me. I would love to talk with you and to see if my tribe may possibly join you. I have a great online presence basically teaching the things you live. My tribe was located in the jungles of Costa Rica until recently captured and sent back to the States, where we're currently migrating to Belize as we speak by cars. Please reach out on WhatsApp. I'm Natureboy Online, now Father Tehuti. I have managed to conjure up a big following, and not all are good. Actually, I'm rather hated for the truth I speak. I have casting my pearls, and many swine have captured it. I look forward on building with, as I have stated, I am literally on the road to Belize, and someone just sent me your website, and I decided to contact you.
This response is for those who have asked and continue to ask, post, send emails, leave phone messages, and attempt to make contact with the Kwatamani vibration. These are indeed amazing times upon Mother Earth, as she watched 2 natures of energy at work. Yes, this is a spiritual war, and the nature of conflict, confusion, and chaos appears to be winning so far. Sexual violation, violence, war, and crime is indeed the primary storyline, geared and designed to undermine any kind of holistic living resurrection into an order divine. The objective is to keep the spirit-conscious soul in decline. You see, no 2 opposite energies can occupy the same space at the same time. It is either divine order or toxic reality, supreme truth or self-glorifying fallacy. And this is why we say again and again, it is not about the color of one's skin, but rather about the state of consciousness that one lives within. Although the great I Am is very serious about running its master program scam, race, color, sex, condemn, and damn, yes, such is the nature of the great I Am, using ego-driven clout to turn the sacred soul of a being out. And if you want to see that self-concealed ego begin to unravel and peel, And if you want to see the self assert its will, expressing its hostile, bitter anger that it truly feel, if you want to feel the vengeful hate that will not allow the self to wholesomely interrelate or mate, if you want to see a self-deified mind come of age, if you want to see that bad mamma jamma bust out of its cage in venomous rage, let she or he lose control of center stage. Yeah, that's when the self-asserted ego goes to work, seeking and searching to inflict conflict, confusion, chaos, and hurt. And who knows until the individualistic self shows where it lurks. This is when the self-asserted will go there, seeking, searching, to rip, mangle, and tear down all that it found. This is a spiritual war that encircles the earth, border to border. The self-deified individualistic will against the holistic living nature of divine order. And only a sacred few among a few will be able to see through the smoke screen of this toxic satanic reality. And how will one know who is who for true unless there's a sacred eldership to walk one through? Divine greetings to each and every sacred soul who showed enough nerve to get bold and roll after the true story of your ancestral glory was finally told. Supreme thanks, praise, and appreciation to all of those who are attempting to resurrect their sacred ancestral soul after being bought, sold, and stole. Please do not dig a deeper hole to cover a hole. Now that it is your turn, discern, look, listen, and learn. The I and I, as High Priest Kwatamani, have received many, many requests and inquiries from individuals of all ages, skin tones, educational level, social, economic, political, and religious background. And the time has come to make a few things as clear as possible regarding the sacred ancestral temple of Kwatamani and the Kwatamani divine social economic family community order. From our ancestral teachings, we have learned not to pass judgment or condemn anyone based upon the path he or she has walked, but rather to simply stand firm within the requirements for divine social economic family community order. And if it's not about this, we are not about that. We have seen over time that there are very few spirit conscious beings who are ready, willing, or able to honor the requirements of a holistic living way of life. These requirements are not new. The I did not just pull them out the air. They have in fact been encoded as spiritual wisdom, preserved in the pyramid texts of ancient Kemet, Ethiopia. And thousands of years later, this spiritual wisdom has been partially transmitted into offspring and world religions, including Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Yes, the three divine laws of universal order define the holistic living principles of our ancestral way of life. These three divine laws are essential in resurrecting the sacred ancestral spirit presence of the divine children of the sun and the sacred garden culture from which we do come. The sacred order of the Ankh is the key. Divine consumption, fruits of the tree. Divine union, he and she. Forward multiplication of divinity into every offspring and vibration of the generation next through divine social economic family community order. And so in each of those three world religion texts, when God said, let us make man in our own image, and man was created he and she, any spirit conscious being should be able to reason with the us that said, let us make man. Somewhere within this supreme creative partnership, there was more than one participant. Let us. And in order for this divine union of oneness to occur, she had to be right there with he to conceive this supreme master plan. Thus, it does not matter whether the speaker was he or whether the speaker was she. The matter of fact is the most supreme seen and unseen ancestral spirit presence of masculine and feminine energy is the essence of life and supreme love. The divine union of masculine and feminine energy as he and she is our supreme natural creative state of being. Any way one twists or turns to distort this supreme truth, the supreme truth of this holistic living matter of fact remains the same. We recognize that even those among the sacred few have been massively contaminated and damaged. It is not for us to condemn, ridicule, crucify, but rather to keenly observe the nature of one's actions within a commitment to whole life change. We do look deeply into one's actions because actions indeed speak louder than words. The dynamics of divine social, economic, family, community order require massive detoxing and purging in order to heal into a consciousness that will allow the individual to break out of the toxic encodes of self-deification. Self-identity, the self-asserted will, and the self-gratification of pursuing one's individual desires above all things else, even in defiance of divine law, is a divisive nature of energy. When we speak about self-asserted individualism, we're talking about a divisive nature of energy that opposes the holistic living nature of energy, which fuels divine social, economic, family, community order. Please be aware that there are two different natures of energy, and one's state of consciousness depends on the nature of energy that one consumes to fuel one's being. Divine order or toxic reality, supreme truth or self-glorifying fallacy. Additionally, the I and I state that the nature of energy that fuels a divisive and conflict-oriented consciousness of self-deification can only manifest more of the same. We are speaking about a self-centered nature of energy that breeds toxic, bitter, angry, vengeful, jealous, and depleting experiences. Thus, the same nature of energy that breeds individualism and self-deification fuels conflict, confusion, and chaos in relationships. In every instance, the deified self is a predator, seeking to dominate, control, profit from, and assert its will over the life energy of its prey, to possess, dominate, control, and rule, so as to consume the soul of another being. We have seen this time and time again, played out in personal dramas with individuals who come to us seeking to join. We note that doing the same thing over and over again while expecting different results is a practice of insanity. Thus, if an individual truly desires whole life change, he or she has to be ready, willing, and able to participate in the kinds of detox, purging, and healing procedures that have been time proven to produce positive, life-affirming results in those who have successfully stepped away from the toxic ordeals of self-deification. The problem is the individualistic self and its patterns of rage, venting frustration, irritation, agitation, and vengefulness. If one is not successful in letting go of that self-asserted, bitter, egotistic nature that lurks in those hidden, occult places in one's own mind. Yes, our problem is dealing with the egotistic self and its tendencies to seek, search, and destroy if it cannot dominate, control, and rule over divine order. Unfortunately, one who has been preyed upon can become so damaged and corrupted that he or she will begin to prey upon others. And the more that one has integrated, assimilated, and adopted this predatory nature, including the eating patterns, the religious patterns, social and sexual relationship patterns, and even the educational patterns, the more one would express the nature of a predator once one is provoked by the fact that one's personal will is not being served as one desires it to be. There are sexual predators and there are energy predators who seek to feast upon one's life energy in order to boost that ego surge. Beware that many individuals seek to assert their personal will over others, the will of self to be in control, to be right, to be validated within a nature of energy that totally disregards the supreme truth that there is something far greater than the deified self. Please make note here that we do have historical records, religious texts, and spiritual teachings that have attempted to describe that self-deified nature of energy that stands opposed to divine order. Seth, Sutik, Satan, Lucifer, the devil, the jinn, all names to reference the nature of the deified self, the nature of energy that fuels a consciousness of separation, division, and rebellion against divine order, based on what the individual self wants to do, when, where, how, why, and with whom it wants to do it with. We note that any being who carries the nature of the deified self will stand in opposition to the requirements of divine social, economic, family, community order. That is not to say that one will not be able to front, fake, or pretend for an extended period of time in pursuit of one's goal to dominate, control, and rule over something or someone else. Regardless of whether I as High Priest Kwatamani am labeled as an occultist, or whether the Kwatamani divine social, economic, family, community order is labeled as a cult, the supreme truth is that we're talking about two different natures of energy. And those who use such labels to attack, discredit, and malign would do well to recognize the nature of energy that is directing their thoughts, reasonings, and actions. Two different natures of energy. You choose. Either the divisive nature of self-deification with its angry, bitter frustrations and tones of conflict, confusion, and chaos, or the holistic living nature encoded in divine consumption, fruits of the tree, divine union, he and she, and the forward multiplication of divinity into every offspring and vibration of the generation next through divine social, economic, family, community order. If you're not able to successfully connect with this, don't blame it on the I and I. Look deep inside that self-deified nature that you seek and search to hide in disguise. As 2018 approaches, the pyramid structure of the sacred ancestral temple of Kwatamani is in place, in a location that will allow us the option of communicating with those who are expressing a wholehearted and sincere interest in a holistic living way of life. So long as the protocols of Kwatamani Divine Social Economic Family Community Order are upheld and honored, and as time permits, we are open to the opportunity to communicate. We, the Kwatamani Royal Priesthood, reserve the right to make the kind and type of decision that will best forward the holistic living movement of the Kwatamani Divine Social Economic Family Community Order. Divine order. And if it's not about this, we are not about that.